Hello and welcome. Today we've got something special for you. So sit down, take a round, and enjoy. Hello and welcome to another Spider-Man class. Today we're going to do a villain that everybody out there seemingly wants to see done on the show, so I have no choice but to oblige. Today is Carnage 101. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Actually, the story of Carnage starts about a year to a year and a half before we actually first see him appear. And the story starts in Amazing Spider-Man number 344, which is the actual first appearance of Cletus Cassidy, which is a serial killer with nice red hair, much as myself. And he is in prison and is Eddie Brock's jailmate. And as you all know, Eddie Brock is actually Venom. So Venom is in jail without his symbiote, and his jail cell mate is Cletus Cassidy, this crazy nutcase serial killer. So Cletus makes his first appearance in this issue, in 344. Now, Eddie Brock always talks about his other, which is a symbiote. Eddie's hopeful to get back his symbiote, if you will. And what do you know? The issue right after, Amazing Spider-Man number 345, the symbiote, Venom symbiote, actually breaks through the prison and gets to Eddie Brock. They merge again, and Venom breaks out of the prison. What Venom doesn't know, what Eddie Brock doesn't know, is that the symbiote is actually an asexual entity, and it gave birth. So the Venom symbiote gave birth to another symbiote while in the jail cell. Now, little do we know in the beginning is Cletus is just alone and the symbiote is there, and it's left at that. So there's a new symbiote in the jail cell, or we just see a drop of it anyway on the panel, and Cletus is in there. Now, before we fast forward to Carnage's first full appearance, before that I'd like to note that in Amazing Spider-Man number 347, now that Venom has his symbiote again, Venom fights Spider-Man on a deserted island. Spidey fakes his death and basically gets off the island. So Venom decides, I killed him here, I killed Spider-Man, I'm good on this island, I'm going to stay on this island and just live here for the rest of my life in peace, now that I've done what I've always wanted to do and killed Spider-Man. So Spider-Man leaves the island, Venom doesn't know any better, and he just stays there and lounges for a little while. So, in Amazing Spider-Man 361, which is the first appearance of Carnage, we start to learn exactly what happened in the jail cell. And that's Cletus merged naturally with that symbiote spawn from Venom and became Carnage. Now Carnage does a few new tricks that Venom doesn't do. He can manipulate his symbiote, can turn into like weapons, like daggers, axes, stuff like that. He can actually throw his symbiote and it can detach from him, little pieces of it, and can like attack, like it does inanimate sharp objects. And it can detach from the main symbiote and basically just crumbles and goes away type thing. So, he has some new tricks up his sleeve. He still does block Spider-Man's spider sense and all that. But Venom had some self-control. Brock had control over the symbiote, more than the symbiote had control over Brock. But in this case, I mean, Cletus Cassidy is a total nut job, and the symbiote basically is a total nut job too, because what it does just enhances what your true aspirations are, and Cletus is just crazy. So the symbiote takes over Cletus's mind like that very quickly, because Cletus has no mind. Cletus is just a killing machine. That's all he is. So some cool things that Carnage does in these episodes, in these books I should say, not episodes, is that you actually see Cletus murdering people, well, somewhat, as much as Merle wants to show. You see, he always writes Carnage rules on the walls with his own blood. He has a teddy bear that I would assume was from when he was a kid, and he has that teddy bear and hugs the teddy bear and loves the teddy bear and talks to it. Kind of weird stuff. Kind of reminds me of the whole Bane with the Osito bear from the DC Superheroes line, or even if you saw a bit of Friday the 13th, Jason versus Freddy in magazines and whatnot. Some cut scenes were like Jason with his teddy bear and all that. That's kind of along the same lines. Maybe they got the idea from the Carnage story, maybe not, but kind of resembles the same thing. So, the Carnage storyline goes for 3 issues when he was first born. It's Amazing 361, 362, and 363. So in 362, Spider-Man finally decides, look, I can't handle this guy alone. I'm going to need somebody who has basically this guy's same powers. So Spider-Man goes again to the deserted island and meets up with Venom and explains to him, look, you know, like, hey, you know, hi, I've been lying to you all these years, you know, I'm alive, all that stuff. I need your help. Something you've spawned, basically, is not very good. And since Brock does have a moral conscience and all these innocent people are dying, he agrees to go along with Spider-Man in the end and help him out to basically get Carnage out of commission. And in the same time, they capture Venom again too, which basically pisses Venom off. Because you think Spider-Man has betrayed him once again type thing. So, Carnage, like, there's not a whole lot to say about the guy because he doesn't have a long storyline, a long introduction, stuff like that. He's just like an incendiary character created by Marvel to capitalize on the whole symbiote thing. Some key moments he did have after, though. He did have the whole Maximum Carnage storyline, which I have some of the books here, which was a 14-part miniseries, which basically put Carnage, his girlfriend Shriek, Doppelganger, Demogoblin, all of them all together, and they were causing carnage all throughout the land. And it took Spider-Man, Captain America, and a whole bunch of other guys together to actually stop Carnage and his newfound gang. So those are kind of cool. Neat storyline. Some of the other storylines that went on after for Carnage were in the issue 400s, where Carnage, his symbiote, left Cassidy and actually tried to take over the Ben Reilly, aka clone Spider-Man, Scarlet Spider, whatever you want to call him. Tried to take him over, and Ben Reilly had a hard time because he had never dealt with the symbiote before, because Peter Parker had dealt with the symbiote, but not the Ben Reilly clone. So that was kind of interesting. Another thing was, actually the symbiote did take over Silver Surfer for a while, and he became Carnage Cosmic. Basically the whole red Carnage flying on the Silver Surfer's surfboard, which is red, full of symbiote at this point, and causing destruction and whatnot through the galaxy. So Carnage has had a pretty interesting run. He was separated and rebonded to the symbiote on several occasions. Right now he's currently, to my knowledge anyways, although I haven't really been reading up on him lately because he hasn't appeared in a little while, but at this point he is unbonded with the symbiote. And I know for a brief time he actually Cletus Cassidy painted himself red. Because he still has a Carnage persona, even though the symbiote's not with him. Painted himself red and still continued to do some horrible crimes painted in red. But he was only human, didn't have any special powers or nothing. But just to show you just how much a nut job this guy is. So that's about it. So now you have your Carnage lesson. So Carnage is derived of Venom. Carnage is crazy. And Carnage might be coming to a Spider-Man movie near you. Who knows what the future will bring. So until next time, keep subscribing to my videos. And keep posting your comments. So, from Kevin, aka DCompose, and my friend here, Cletus, so long, have a good one then.